Hi all, good evening. I am sharing my screen. I have shared my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. Today, see, we have covered as on yesterday all the WOOPS concepts like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and abstraction. I will recap all the definitions once again. Okay. See, we all know now what is a class. That means class is a collection of the properties and methods. Within the class, we'll have the variables, which we defined it, and also the methods, and we'll be having the one main method, public static void main. Okay, so that is a class. So in automation testing, using Selenium automation tool, we need to write the test cases. For that, we need to create the classes and methods. So that's why class is very important. Okay, in Java, the basic thing is we need to know what is a class. So what we are defining within the class. So next is object. So Java is an object-oriented programming language. So everything we need to consider as an object in Java. So when we are creating classes in Java, first step is we need to create an object, and then we need to access the variables, and we need to call the methods to as per our test case. Okay, in automation we can call automation test case, automation test script. So object means it is a instance of a class. So we will create the objects for the class. We will create more than one object in a single class. Okay, these are the class and object definitions. Coming to inheritance. Inheritance, as we know, we have one parent class and one multiple child classes. Consider currently we have one parent class and one child class. So child class will be inherited the parent class properties and methods inside the child class. As we know the our parents, grandparents example. So we will inherit the features from our parents and grandparents, right? The same way, technically in Java, inheritance means the child class will inherit the properties and methods of the parent class. That is the inheritance. Coming to polymorphism. Polymorphism means a method which is having multiple forms. That means there is a two types of polymorphism. First one is static polymorphism, which is a compile time polymorphism. We can achieve this static compile time polymorphism through method overloading mechanism. The second one is runtime polymorphism. So runtime polymorphism we can achieve through method overriding mechanism. So method overloading, which is compile time polymorphism, We will define a class, single class. Inside the class, we will have multiple methods with the same method name, but with different data types of arguments and different number of arguments passing inside the methods. That is method overloading. Runtime polymorphism means method overriding mechanism. So method overriding is using the inheritance concept. That means we have a parent class, we have a one method in parent class, and we have a child class. We will inherit the parent class method, same method in the child class through the inheritance concept in the method overriding. That means we are overriding the parent class method in the child class, and we will define the different behavior in the child class. That is method overriding, which is runtime polymorphism. So this is the definition of polymorphism. When we come to abstraction, abstraction is nothing but we are hiding the definition of a method, or we are hiding the implementation of a class. When you give abstract keyword before the class, that means that abstract class will have the abstract methods. That means abstract method means we will declare the method. We won't define the method. With the semicolon, we just declare the method, that is abstract method. When you give definition with open curly brace, close curly brace for any method, that is we are defining the method. So abstract method means we won't define the method, we will declare the method. That is abstract method. So a real world example is when car taken, we took an example of car. So we are we don't know like how engine of the car works, how brakes operates, how the accelerator operates, but we know how to use it, but we don't know how it is working. Okay, that is we are hiding the implementation of the functionality of the brakes, the engine, how it works, the accelerator, how it works. So similar way, abstraction concept in Java is we are hiding the implementation of the methods. Okay, and where we will implement the methods of abstract class means in the child classes. If a class is abstract class, in the child class we will define the same method through that is the abstraction concept in Java. So coming to encapsulation. Encapsulation means we are binding the properties and with the code, the methods. So this means within the same class, we are defining the private variables. So in a class, we are defining the variables as private. That means we are restricting the access of the variables inside the same class. That means we are protecting the class variables inside the same class. So how we will access those private methods means by using the setter methods and getter methods. So as we have seen, we will see the examples now in few minutes. So encapsulation means we are combining the properties and methods within the same class, and we are restricting the access of the properties within the same class. Okay, this is best example is class is a and class is a best example for the encapsulation, because the variables we are defining private we will use within the same class, and we are accessing the variables inside the methods. Okay, that is the encapsulation concept. So the definitions we will see later. So will the main important thing, as I informed yesterday also, informing now, the hands-on practice is very important. Okay, so theoretically we need to understand the definitions, what it mean, what is oops concept, what is inheritance, what is abstraction, what is polymorphism, what is a encapsulation. But parallelly we need to practice the programs of those concepts, because when you do the programming practice, then you can able to crack the interviews easily, because mostly interviewers will ask the employees in the interviews to write the small programs, and they will ask few logics also, programming logics. That's why it is very important to practice the Java programming. Okay. So first I am coming to this inheritance concept. Okay. See here, just I am taking one example for this inheritance. So we have different types of inheritance. So single inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance. Okay. As of now, just I am showing you hierarchical inheritance. That is nothing but we will get to know when we are going through the program. So inheritance is, as I mentioned, as we all know, the parent class properties will be inherited in the child class. Consider class 1 is a parent class. So class name. So we need to write first, when you are writing a program, first we need to write package name. Okay. And we need to, and normally when you are defining the test cases in the real-time project, we need to import some packages also. So that I will tell later. Anyway, just we are concentrating on the whoops concepts examples now. Normally after the package name, we will import the some packages. Like example, simple I will say, import java.io dot for importing. So input of the IO packages, the functions, and import. It depends on the your test case. Okay, java.util dot. So like this, we'll import the packages. That means which these util java.util package will have the collection functions, the classes and interfaces. IO package will have the IO functions and interfaces. So that's why based on the your test case, when you're working in a project, we need to import the packages after the package name. Okay. So currently I'm not covering this one. Just I'm explaining the concepts of oops examples. So this is the inheritance example. So consider class 1. 1 is a class name. So this class 1 is a parent class which is having print1 method. So class 1 is a parent class which is having one method, that is print1 is a method name. For every method, as we know, we need to open bracket, close bracket after method name. So this is the method signature, method name signature. So method signature is public. We should give the access modifier for the method, and we should give data type. Void means the default. That means it won't return, this method won't return any value. When you give method type is void data type. So print1 is method name. So after method name, we need to open bracket, close bracket. So this is the method signature in Java class. So public void print1 is a method inside the parent class class 1. So we are defining with system.out.println. This is a definition of print1 method. So we are implementing this method with this logic, lines of code. So system.out.println, we are asking to print1 method of class 1. So whatever text inside the double quotations, that is a string, right? So string means a group of characters, collection of characters. So we are asking to print this value, string value, print1 method of class 1. This is we are defining this print1 method with this line of code. So the parent class 1 which is having print1 method with this definition. So this is a base class. That means base class is nothing but parent class. So when we come to derived class means child classes. So class 2 is a child class. Extends is a keyword for the inheritance concept. So class 2 is a child class. Extends class 1. So class 1 is a parent class. So always inheritance concept means child classes extends parent class. That is the inheritance. That means class 2 is a child class, which is derived class, which is extending parent class. That means the method of the parent class, print1 method, will be we can use the same method also inside this class 2, and also we can define some new methods also. In this example, we are not using the same method, we are defining the some new method, public void print2. The parent class method is print1. The subclass, that means child class 2 is a child class which is having print2 method, so which is a different method. So because child classes will have their own methods, and also it will inherit the parent class methods also. It is not that the child classes will have only the parent class methods. The child classes will be having the own methods also. Okay. So public void 22 is the method of child class, which is a we are defining with system.out.println to method of a class 2. That means print2 is a method of class 2. Print1 is a method of parent class 1. That's the just for understanding purpose only. This is the definition of definition means implementation of a method. Defining the method with this lines of code. That means okay. So child class is extending parent class, which is having a his child class own method. Coming to child class 2, that means here the naming convention is 3, but this is child class 1, this is child class 2. The name of the class is 3. So in the next child class, this is another child class. Class 3 is another child class which is also extending parent class 1. So extends inheriting the parent class 1. So class 3 is another child class which is extending the parent class. And also this class 3 child class having this own method. 23 is child class 3 method. So we are giving implementation like system.out.println 23 method of class 3. Okay. So we have one parent class, two child classes. Okay. And also, as we all know, for every class, we need to make sure we are opening curly brace, closing the curly brace. For every method inside the class, we need to make sure opening curly brace, closing curly brace. This is very important. Otherwise, it will throw runtime errors. It won't execute the program. So this is we need to give proper structure to the class. So when you are opening curly brace, make sure for the class closing the curly brace is mandatory. And for opening a method, open curly brace is important. The same way we need to close the curly brace for a method in a Java class. So this is a proper structure for a class. This is a parent class, class 1. Class 2 is a first child class. Class 3 is a another child class. Okay, we have two child classes and one parent class in this inheritance example. That means this is a hierarchical inheritance. The type of the inheritance is hierarchical. Hierarchical means all the child classes will inherit the single parent class. Okay. And when we are executing the program, what we need public static void main method, because the Java virtual machine will come to the main method for executing the lines of code. So for every Java class, it's a mandatory to have public static void main method. Okay, for executing the program, the class. So For that purpose, we are giving just a public. This is a testing class. That means we are executing the class using this logic. So public class name I have given hierarchical inheritance. We can give any name. Just for our naming convention, I have given for understanding purpose only class name as hierarchical inheritance. You can give your name also. You can give A, B, C, whatever. So just for understanding, I have given the naming convention as hierarchical inheritance, which is a class name. So public class name. Inside this test class, we are giving public static void main. That means the main method, which is a mandatory for executing any program. So as I mentioned, always the main method is same. The syntax is same. Always the access modifier of the main method is public. It is not a private and protected. Always the main method is public access modifier, and which is a static method, because for main method we are not creating any objects and we are not inheriting in the other classes. We can't override this method. That's why it is a static method. The main method is a static method. And void means the main method won't return any value. It is having only logic, the lines of code, but it won't return any value. Return means normally if it is not a void, if it is a any method is int string, right? We need to return some value like this, right? Return some whatever like this. But if this is a void, this is not returning any value. Okay, this is because it is a void method. Main method is a void method. It won't return any value. It is having only the lines of code. Okay, inside the main method. So always remember, when you are writing a Java class, just make sure that Java class is having the public static void main method, and syntax is same. After the main method name, we should give open bracket, close bracket. We need to pass the arguments of string array type. Okay, so we can pass this. So it is a mandatory to define this main method inside a class, because for execution purpose, JVM will start the execution from the main method. If you are not creating main method when you are writing a Java class, you can't able to execute the program. You will throw errors. The main method is missing like that. So then you can remember and you can create the main method. So always keep it in mind. We need to create one main method in every class to execute the class. So inside the main method, the lines of code what we are writing here, for these classes, we are creating the objects. So first I am creating object obj1 for the class 2. That means class 2 is a first child class, right? The child class is class 2. Class 1 is a parent class. So class 2 is a child class, right? So I am creating object for the child class. So class name, the syntax of the object created for the class means the same syntax always. The class name will change, object name will change, but the syntax is same. What is the syntax of the object creation? Class name, in this case, class name is 2, object name is object obj1 equal to new is a operator, 2 is a class name. So always the syntax is same. Class name space object name equal to new operator class name. So this is the syntax for creating a object for any class. But based on the class names, object names, we will change the class name, object name. So in this example, the class name is 2. That's why I have given class name is 2. Object name, we can give anything. So here I am giving obj1 equal to new operator and class name. So that means you are creating obj1 object for a class 2. That means for the child class, you are creating object 1. The same way, you are creating object 2. For which class? Class 3. That means class 3 is another child class, right? So you are creating obj2 object for another child class. That means class name is 3, object name is obj2 equal to new class name is 3. So you are creating object obj2 for a class, the child class 3. So we have created in this example two objects. First object is obj1 for the child class 2. Second object is obj2 for the child class 3. So after creating, as we all know, we can create multiple objects within the same class. We can create single object or multiple objects. In this example, we have created more than one object, right? So two objects we have created. So after creating two objects of the two objects for the child classes, class 2 and class 3. So what we will do, first step is in the main method, we will create the objects because we will access the properties and methods. We will call the methods using the object reference. That means we can call this object reference. So obj1 is object. So we are using this object reference obj1 dot print1. That means print1 is a method inside the parent class. Okay. So using the child class object obj1, we are calling the parent class method because the child class 2 is extended parent class. That means any child class, if it is inheriting the parent class, all the parent class methods will inherit it in the child class. Even though it is having own methods. Child class 2 having its own method, print 2, but it is extending the parent class. That means we can inherit the print 1 method inside the child class 2. That's why when you are calling object 1 of the child class 2 dot, so this is a syntax for calling the methods using the object references. So object, after creating an object, we should give the object name dot the method name. So whatever method you want to call inside the class, from the main method, we need to create an object for the classes, and then sorry, and then after creating objects, we need to call the methods. So using the child class object 1, I am calling the parent class print 1. So print 1 method is a parent class method. Because of the inheritance concept, the child class, I can use this method, right? That's why I am calling using the child class object, the parent class method. So this is the syntax, how to call the parent class method using the child class object. This is also interview question. So interviews, they will ask in inheritance concept, how you will access the parent class method using child class. You need to write this logic. You need to tell them first we need to create the object for the child class, and then you can call the parent class method because the child class is inherited the parent class. That means all the parent class method will be inherited in the child class, so that we can call the child class using the child class object, we can call the parent class method, so that we can give the answer. The same way object 2 also another child class object. So you are calling the same parent method print 1. Why? Class 3 is another child class. We are inheriting the 1. That means parent class. So both the child classes, class 2, class 3, inheriting the using extends keyword. We are using extends keyword for the inheritance concept, right? So both the child classes, class 2 and class 3 extends parent class 1. Okay, that means that is the reason using the child class objects object 1 object 2, we are calling the parent class, that means super class base class, right? Parent class method print 1. That is the reason here they have written the code object 1 dot print 1 object 2 dot print 2. So this is the hierarchical inheritance in the Java. So types of inheritance is single inheritance. That means we'll have only one child class. Hierarchical means multiple classes will be the child classes will be there. Single inheritance means one parent class, one child class. Hierarchical means one parent class, multiple child classes. Multiple inheritance means we'll have multiple child classes, but I will show that example also. It won't inherit only one parent class. So in the multiple inheritance, we will inherit the child classes also. The second child for the second child class, first child class is a parent. For third child class, second child class is a parent. That is a multiple inheritance. Okay, I will give that example. This is based on your test case requirement and your project requirement. We will create the which inheritance is suitable for your test case. So mostly we will create the single inheritance only. That means one child class, one parent class, one child class. Based on the your test case requirement, when you are working in a project, we can create two child classes also. But it's a rare case. It depends on the project requirement. So this is, I hope everyone understood what is a inheritance concept and what is a hierarchical inheritance. So one in hierarchical inheritance, in the hierarchical inheritance, sorry, one parent class and multiple child classes, and we will create the object for the child classes, and we will access the parent class methods using the child class objects. Okay, that is the inheritance concept here. See, everyone after this class, so you have weekend, right? So please practice 1 hour in daily basis and write. I think I have explained you in the first session how to install JDK Java in your computer. That means you need to download the JDK version, which is a 1.8 and above. So one Java after installing the JDK in your computer, you need to download the Eclipse the same way Eclipse IDE. So after downloading Eclipse, as I informed, you need to go to environment. Just I will show high level environment variables, and you need to add a new user variable, that is Java home, Java underscore home. The value is after installing JDK in your computer, you need to copy the path till the bin folder. I will show high level once again. In the C drive, you will have program files. Inside the program files, after installing Java, you will have one folder Java. Here I have installed two versions. That's why two versions of Java is there. But don't worry, you can download. You're downloading one time, right? You will have one Java folder, JDK Java. So open that one and open the bin folder and copy this path. So copy this path till the bin folder. Come to C drive, program files, Java folder, and bin folder. Copy this path till bin folder and give the value. Variable name is Java underscore home. This is a user variable, and variable value is, we should give C drive, program files, Java folder, bin folder. So till the bin folder, we need to copy the path and we need to give as a value for the user variable Java underscore home. Give the always Java underscore home as a capital letters for this environment variable. So this is very important. After installing Java, you need to set up this environment variables and system variables. Coming to system variables, so copy the path. So this is system variables. Copy the path and then edit it. Click on edit. So after editing, you will have the window, right? Here you will see the same bin path. C drive program files JDK. Initially, it won't be available in your system. What you need to do is click on new, okay, and then add the same value, whatever value you are adding, right? Same value here. Copy this path and when you create a new, click new and enter the value, paste the value. This is how we should give and click the OK button. Then you can able to save the same the path in the path environment. Okay, this is a system variable, and we are I will show in the system variables you will have path variable. So select the path variable and click on edit, and here you can add a new variable and set the value as that Java till the bin path. Okay, this is very important. So after setting the environment variables, you can able to open the Eclipse. So Eclipse you have downloaded in your computer, and then you can give the path. So when you before launching the Eclipse, it will ask you where we can create the Eclipse workspace. Then you can choose anything. You can go to browser when you're. I have shown you, right. If you are before launching, it will ask you whether workspace can create in the C drive, specific folder, or you can change the folder name. You can I have given desktop, so it is launched the workspace created in the desktop. So you can give any folder when we are launching the Eclipse IDE. So after launching the Eclipse IDE, you can able to see this Eclipse IDE window. Okay, so this Eclipse IDE is a tool, right? So this tool will open, and here first step is you need to create a Java project. So Java project, it will ask you when you're launching, it will ask you, I have shown the first example, first session, what kind of project you are creating. So you need to select the Eclipse Java developer web applications. So second option. So just select it. You can select any option, but it is suitable for our Java practice. So select that, and then it will open a Eclipse IDE like this. Here it will give the options like what project you want to create, Maven project or Java project or any project, any other project, EJB project and all. But we are not developers, right? If we are Java developers, then we can use other options. We are using this Java, practicing Java for the testing purpose, automation testing purpose. So just simply create Java, select the Java project only. So after creating selecting Java project, you can able to create the Java project like this. It will ask you what is the project name. I have given Java underscore sample test as a project name. So you can give whatever name you want for the practice purpose. So after giving the project name, click OK. You can able to find this structure, this project structure in the trip in this panel, right, left panel. So this trip pan, it is showing the project name as Java underscore sample test. And when you are creating Java project, you can able to see all the downloaded Java libraries. The JRE system libraries means the JDK we have installed, right? It with inside the bin folder, all the libraries will be there. That's why we are giving the path in. We are setting up the environment variable as Java underscore home, and we are giving till the bin path, because inside the bin path all libraries will be there, functions. See here, inside the bin folder, all required Java libraries, that means Java functions are available, DLLs. That means when you are creating a Java project, by default, all the libraries will be copied here. Okay, it will be created in this structure. So when you create a Java project, automatically this libraries will copied here, and you will able to find a source folder. One source folder, SRC is a source folder. So right click on the source folder menu with your mouse, right click on it using your computer mouse, and you can able to see new option, new menu, and sub menus are package, class, enum, interface. So when you want to create a class, you need to create select the class. That means new class. But as per the proper structure, Java project creating, right? Inside the source folder, right click on the source folder, select the new menu, and first create the package, because package is nothing but a collection of classes. So in this example, I have given the package name as, when you select the package, right, like this, new package, then it will ask you package name. I have given oops examples as a package name, just for practice purpose. You can give any name. So after unclick OK, so package will be created. After creating package, you can able to see the package like this. So right click on this package, click the new menu and come to class and click the class. So I have created so many classes here. Abstraction example is one class, hierarchical inheritance another class, interface abstract another class. So we can create multiple classes, right? Because package is a collection of classes. So this is how you need to install the Java in your computer, download the Eclipse and open the Eclipse and create the Java project and create the classes like this inside the package. So from today, please practice this. So without your practicing, it is very tough, difficult for you to crack the interviews, okay, for your job. So every day, please practice at least 1 hour so that you will have a hands-on experience. Okay, after joining your job, right, when after getting a job, so you can able to write the code for any test cases easily when you have the hands-on practice. So that is the reason. So hands-on practice is very important. So I'm coming to second example in the programming. See here, multiple inheritance. Okay, as I mentioned, right, multiple inheritance. So in just I'm showing what is the multiple inheritance here. We will have the single parent class and two child classes. So in this example, this is a one child class and this is a another child class. So first child class is class 2, which is extending the parent class 1. But second child class is a main, which is extending the child class 2. That means in the multiple inheritance, sorry, not multiple, multi-level. So first we have seen hierarchical inheritance. So this is a multiple inheritance. Okay, that means I'm sorry for the naming convention, multi-level inheritance. So what is a multi-level? In the naming convention only, it is we can able to understand. Multi-level means we will have one parent class and we'll have multiple child classes and we can inherit the immediate parent. What is the immediate parent? For child class 2, the immediate parent is class 1. For child class main, the immediate parent is class 2. So, in the multi-level inheritance, it is the child classes will inherit the immediate parent. That means for public class main, so this is a main child class. For this immediate parent is class 2. That's why it is extending the class 2. For the class 2, immediate parent is class 1. So that means the class 2 is extending the class 1. So in the multi-level inheritance, we will use this concept. But mostly we won't use this. But just for the definition, keep it in mind. Based on your project need, based on your test case need, you can able to create multi-level. But mostly we can create single inheritance only. Just for understanding purpose only, I'm explaining. Okay. So if there is a need, how we can, so in interview also they can ask you how you will define multi-level inheritance. So you need to understand, right? That's why it is good to practice this example also. Okay. So the same way we need to write this and we can execute the program. It will execute. And also I'm suggesting you don't copy paste from the Google. When you're practicing, don't copy paste. Just write each line with your hand. Write like example, write class name is, I am giving main. So and I'm opening curly brace, close curly brace. When you're practicing, when you're typing the code manually with your hand, then you'll get a confident also. You'll get good confidence on your hands-on practice. So don't please, I'm suggesting you don't copy from the Google and paste when you're practicing. So write, check the examples in Google if you want, and write with your hand, single line by line. So all the lines of code you need to write with your hand manually. Okay, then only you can remember the code logic, and you can understand the code logic, and you can have hands-on practice also. So inside the class, you can define multiple. Void display is one method. After method, you need to make sure if you are defining method, you need to curly open curly brace, close curly brace. And simple for practice purpose, what logic you are writing inside method, just write system dot out dot println. Okay. So like this, you can write the code. Whatever you can write anything. Okay. Inheritance example. Just you want to create one class is one method. You can give any text here and end with the semicolon. So when you are writing with your hand, then you will get a good confidence on your program practice. So I'm suggesting you create everything by your hand, by your own. Okay. Public static void main. So this is a mandatory method, right? In every class. For execution purpose, we need to define this string array args. That means for every method we need to open and close with curly braces. So when you are writing like this, we'll get a confidence on the programming. Okay. Please don't copy paste from the Google. And inside the main method, what you will do? Main is a in this example, main is a class name. So main obj1 equal to, okay, new is operator, main is a class. So this is how we will create the object for the class. So in this example, main is a class name. So I'm creating a obj1 for the class main. So syntax is class name, object name equal to new operator class name. So if when you're writing code with your hands, you'll get a confidence on the Java programming. Okay. So this is a multi-level inheritance. So I'm going to another example, which is nothing but, see here. Just I have given class name as test4. So this is a polymorphism concept. Inheritance we have completed. So polymorphism concept, how we will write the programming means, in the polymorphism, as I mentioned, we have two types of polymorphism. One is a static polymorphism, which is a method overloading mechanism. What is it? How we will write the program? One class. Oh, current పోయింది. ఇది ఇన్వర్టర్ ప్లగ్ కాదేమో కదా. ఓకే. ఓకే.
I think I
Hello,
I think yeah,
hello.
Venkat, did you get power back or do you want to
Yeah,
continue
yeah.
the
I
Monday?
got a power back. Sorry for the inconvenience. Can I continue for 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm sharing my screen. I have shared my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen? I hope now you can able to see.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. See, as I am explaining, this is a static polymorphism example. Okay. Give me 1 second if you don't mind. Someone is calling. Sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. See, as I'm explaining, this example is the polymorphism, static polymorphism example. So, static polymorphism means we are using the method overloading mechanism. So, what is method overloading? As we all know, we will having the one single class. Okay, we are having a one single class. Here in this example, the class is test4. The class name is test4. So public is access modifier class name is test4. Inside this class, I am having a two methods. Method 1 and this is method 1. Means method name is same, but I am passing different data types of arguments, different data types of parameters. So for method 1, first method 1, I am passing the parameters as integers, int a comma int b. So I am writing the logic return a into b. Y means the method data type is integer. If it is a void means we should not return any value. But other than void, if it is any other data type like integer, we need to return the integer value. That's why I'm returning the integer value here in this method because data type is integer. And in this, I am passing two parameters which are integer types, int a comma int b. And second method is the method name is same, method 1, but it is a double type. That means first method is a integer type, this is a double data type. And inside the method, I am passing a comma b. That means two parameters a and b, which are the double types. So double a, double b. So this method also it should return some value because this is not a void method. This is a double data type method. So if other than the void method, any method should return some value. So this method is a double type of method. That's why it is returning the double value. So in this class test4, we are having two methods. Method 1 with integer data types. Method 2, that means method 1, the method name is same. The second method, which is with the double parameters. That means overloading concept is nothing but within the same class, we'll be having the multiple methods, more than one method. So in this example, we have two methods, right? Method one with integer data type variables, and method one, the second method one is with double parameter types. So any class which is having the more than one method with the same method name but with different data types of arguments and different number of arguments, which is nothing but method overloading concept. So in any class, if you are defining multiple methods with the same method name and with different argument data types, different number of arguments and different data types, then we can achieve the method overloading mechanism. So in this example, after defining the two methods with the integer data types, first method, second method, double data type, the next step is we are defining the main method, because for every class for execution, this public static void main method is important. So after defining the main method, we are writing the lines of code, the logic here. What code we are writing inside the main method to execute. For executing this program, I am creating object first for the class. So test4 is a class name. So I am creating obj5 is object for the test4 class. So class name, object name, obj5 equal to new class name. That means I am creating obj5 is an object for the class test4. So after creating an object, what I need to do? I need to call the methods, right? So we have two methods, method one with the same name, but with the different parameter types. So first one is integer parameter type method. Second method is double parameter type method. So after creating object inside the main method, I need to call the method one of the integer parameters. That means obj5 object dot method one. That means the object name, the object reference. This is object reference we can call the. So object dot method one. So in the overloading concept, which is nothing but we can call this static polymorphism, compile time polymorphism also, because static means compile time polymorphism. Okay. So that why we are calling compile time, JVM will come to main method and it will compile the program first. While compilation, we are it will decide, the JVM will decide which method to call. So we have two methods with the same method name. When you are giving when your JVM is calling method one, how JVM will understand which method to call? First method one, second method one, based on the parameter values. So when you are passing a parameter value as a two parameters, right? Int a comma int b, first method. Second method double a comma double b. When you are passing the integer numbers, obviously this method will call, because this method is having integer parameters. So in this main, the JVM will come to this line of code. Then it will identify like, okay, this is calling method one of integer parameter type, because we are passing the integer values. So I am passing 5 number for the a value is 5 and b value is 10. So I am passing 5 is an integer, 10 is an integer. So I am passing two integer values for the int a parameter. For the int b parameter, I am passing 10 value. Okay, that means JVM will identify easily during the compile time this method one which is with integer values. That means this method one with integer parameters will call. So that is the reason we are calling. The JVM decides during the compile time only which method to call. That's why this is called compile time polymorphism. It is not, the JVM is not deciding during the runtime. Before execution only, during compile time, it is identifying that which method to call based on the parameter values. types of parameter values. So integer means it is calling the integer method, parameters method. And in the second line of code, JVM will come to here in this line of code, and it will identify this method one having double type of values 2.5, 3.5. So double A, that means A is value is in this example. So in this line of code, the A value of double A is 2.5. The B value of double B is 3.5. That means JVM will decide this method one is calling this method based on the parameter values, because it's double data type values 2.5, 3.5 are double data type values. So in the compile time polymorphism, we are using the method overloading example mechanism, which is nothing but in a single class. Okay, remember this example always. So for overloading, we are creating a single class. Inside the single class, we are creating multiple methods with the same method name, but with different data type of parameters or different number of parameters. We can, if you pass into C, we can pass into C also, but we need to pass here 15, another number, because three integers, right? We need to pass three integers. See here, I'm passing three parameters. So in this case, in the while calling the method, you need to pass three values. So JVM will decide it should call method one because it is having three values. So this is nothing but compile time polymorphism. A single class we having the single class will have multiple methods, the same name, method name, but with different data type of parameters and different number of parameters. In this, we are passing three parameters. In this, we are passing two parameters. Okay, and data type also different. So this is overloading concept, means same method will have multiple methods having the same method with different data type of parameters and different number of parameters. So after in the main method, public static void main method, creating object and calling the methods. So JVM will decide which method to call based on the values, the parameter values you are passing. So it is a the JVM will decide during the compile time. That's why it is calling compile time polymorphism. So this is the best example of for the compile time polymorphism. So practice multiple examples from your by your own. Okay, remember these definitions and practice with your hand. Type the code, each line by line of the code. Write the program and understand the concept first. Write the program and practice in daily basis. So this is the overloading. So as I mentioned, inheritance we have seen already. This is in a single inheritance. So that means, see here, I will show single inheritance. This is a class one. That means first class, the parent class. So test 11 is a parent class, class name. Okay, which this parent class is having one variable integer with the value 20. Okay, and this display method. So this test 11 is a parent class which is having a display method, okay, with the definition system.out.println. So class test 11 is a parent class which is having one variable, integer type of variable, one method. The method name is display. Okay. Then test 8, public class test 8. This is child class. So test 11 is a parent class, test 8 is a child class. Okay. And also in this example, right, earlier, after, no, not this one. Okay, this is also one of the method overloading example, compile time polymorphism. I have written multiple examples. Okay. So when you are writing a code, Then next step is I will show how to execute also. I missed it. After completing once you are writing the class properly, and you need to make sure you need to open parentheses, close parentheses for class and methods, and you need to end each line of code with the semicolon. Okay. Then after completing the program, then you need to select the class with the right click on the class and run as. Come to the menu run as and select the Java application. Okay, I'll show once again. Select the class, whatever class you want to execute in Eclipse. Right click on the class. Come to the run as menu option. The sub menu is Java application. Select this. So it will show you multiple classes. So class test for hierarchical inheritance. But what you want to execute here, the method overloading. One second. So after this power cut, right, it is not restarted properly. That's why I'm not able to execute now. So I will show the execution next class. Okay. So again, I need to close the Eclipse and again open. It will take some time. Just I will explain the programming today, and next class we will execute all the programs. Okay. So it's not restarted, it seems. So here I will explain the same as I'm explaining the single inheritance, one parent class and one child class. So say test 8 is a child class, which is extending the parent class test 11. That means you are inheriting the parent class integer variable and parent class display method. Okay. So here in the test 8 is a child class, which is extending the parent class test 11, and that means you are utilizing the integer number, but you can initialize any other value also. In the child classes, we can inherit the variable properties and methods, and we can give different definitions also. We can That's why here in the child class we are using same integer num value, but we are initializing with different value. In the parent class, the integer num value is 20. The child class, the same, we are inheriting the same integer num variable with the, we are initializing with the 10 value. So equal, so if any variable, declaration means, see, difference between initialization and declaration. Int x, this is declaration. We are not giving any value here. We are simply declaring the variable. But here we are initializing value. We are declaring it and initializing with value. Initializing means equal. That means we are assigning 20 value for the variable num. This is the initialization of the variable. This is the declaration of the variable. Just I'm showing the differences, explaining. So here in the child class, I'm initializing the same integer num variable value as 10, because while inheriting, we can give different definitions, right, for properties and the methods. So here the public void display is a method of the parent class. So in the child class test 8, we are inheriting the parent class. That means we are inheriting the both variable and methods. So display method also we can inherit it in the child class. So public void display, the same parent class method I am inheriting in the child class, public void display. If you see the definition, system.out.println, in the parent class display method, I am giving this is a display method of superclass. I am writing like this. I am asking printing like this. But in the child class, I am giving different implementation, different definition. But same system.out.println within the display method, I am giving this is display method of subclass. This is superclass. This is subclass. So that means the child classes we can give our own definitions. Okay, but we can inherit the same method, same variable, but we can give the different our own definition. Okay, we can assign some other value. In the parent class, 20 is a value. In child class, you can assign other value. We are assigning as 10 here. So in the child class, we have inherited the integer variable and method display. And we have another method, own method, my method means which is not a parent class method. Parent class is having only display method. We already inherited the display method in the child class. Parallelly, in any child class, we will be having the child class own methods also. So this my method is a method of child class. It is not a method of parent class. So only display method is a parent class method. So my method is the child class method. Okay. So we are defining a new method inside the child class test 8. Public is access modifier. Void is a data type before the method. That means my method, the data type is void means the my method, it won't return any value. That's why we don't have any return value here. In this method, there is no return value because the data type is void. So we are writing only lines of code based on your need, requirement. So in this method, child class method, my method, I am creating the object for the child class because test the class child class name is test 8. So test 8 I am giving object name, I am giving sub sub. That means child class. For naming convention I have given. Sub means child class. So class name, object name equal to new class name. That means I am creating a object for the child class test 8 in this my method. Okay. And also, if you see here, after creating the object for the child class, I am calling display method. How we are calling display method? Using object reference. So object reference dot display. That means object name dot display. So display means what method it will call? Sub. Sub means it is a child class object. So it is calling the child class display method. Understand, right? We have the display method in the parent class. Test 11 is a parent class, which is having display method. Test 8 is a child class, which is having the same display method. But when you creating object for the child class, when you are calling display method, what method it will invoke? What invoke means calling. What method it will call? The child class display method, because the object is child class object. So obviously when you are calling with the child class object, the child class display method will invoke, will call. So if you come to this line, super, super is a keyword. Okay, we are using to call the parent class methods. So here, this is Java. Just keep it in mind. In Java, we are using super keyword to invoke the parent class methods. That's why we are using keyword super here. SUPER. Super is a keyword to invoke the parent class methods. So from any method, if you are giving super dot the parent class method name, then it will call the parent class method. So in this example, using super keyword, I am calling display method. That means super dot display means always super is keyword used to call the parent class methods only, not the subclass methods. That is the purpose of super keyword. So dot super keyword dot display means it will call the display method of the superclass test11. So super dot display means this parent class superclass method display will invoke, will call. So this is the difference between sub dot display means child class object dot display means child class display method invoke will call. Super dot display means the parent class. Super class means test11, which is a parent class. Super class is not parent class. So it will call using this line of code. Super dot display means it will call the parent class display method. Sorry. Thank you. So this is the difference between how to call the child class display method, how to call super class display method. So next line is system.out.println. I am printing some value of the variable named num in subclass. This is, see, whatever value you are giving within the double quotations to print system.out.println method. We are giving this method. We are passing this value within the double quotations means we are asking system to print a value of the variable named num in subclass. It will print as it is when you are executing the program. After that, we are concatenating strings. See, when I am explaining, sorry for that. When I am explaining it, Java string concept, I will explain you what is the plus symbol. But currently, I will tell in detail. I will explain there what is the purpose of plus symbol. In this example, we are in oops concept, right? High level. I am telling plus means we are adding, we are concatenating. So within the double quotations, whatever characters, whatever value you are passing, that is we are considering this as a one string. And sub dot num. Sub dot num means we are displaying. So that means sub means it is a child class object, and we are accessing the num means the integer num variable value. Okay, so we are accessing the child class integer num variable value. So how we will access in Java the variables and methods using object only, right? First we need to create an object, and then using the object reference we will call the methods. The same way, using the object reference we will access the variables. So if you are accessing means it will display the 10 value. Why means we are asking system.out.println to display this child class num value. The num is a variable, right? The child class num variable value we are asking system to print. That means we are accessing with the child class object dot num. That means we are accessing this num variable using this sub dot num, and we are asking to print the total value, inside the system dot out dot println. So inside the system dot out dot println method, we have two values, two string values, means one string value and one variable value. So both we are concatenating with the combining with plus symbol. Okay, plus means we are merging two values, one string value, one integer value. So anything we can merge actually. So here we are giving the plus for concatenating two values. So next line of code, system.out.println, we are writing similar another string and we are concatenating with super.num. That means super is a keyword. We will use it to access the superclass variables and superclass methods. That's why I'm concatenating this string with after plus. I'm combining the string value with superclass num variable value. So how we will access superclass num variable using the super keyword. So super dot num. That means it will access this superclass num variable value. Okay. So one parent class. This is single inheritance. We have seen hierarchical inheritance. We have seen multi-level inheritance. Where this is the example for the single inheritance. That means one parent class, one child class. Okay. Mostly in our projects, right? Mostly we will use this inheritance only. So based on your need, you can go for hierarchical and all, but mostly we can use the single inheritance only, single level inheritance, which is nothing but one parent class, one child class. So and the currently this Eclipse not restarted, that's why I'm not able to execute. When normally when you complete the program, right click on it, select the run as Java application. I think now it is restarted. We'll see. No. So it is still not, but we'll see on Monday or Tuesday, the next class. Okay. So simple. When you're after writing code, when you're practicing in your home, right? So after completing the program, right click on it on the on the class name. Right click on the class name, select the run as option, select the Java application, proceed. It will display the output. And we have another option. We have run as. This is a button, right? Run button. So go to run button, select the run as and select the Java application. So we can do both the ways, either this way or this way. Directly you can click the run button to execute the Java classes. I will show high level what is abstraction example. See here, abstraction. As we know the definition, if any class is abstract class, we will give the abstract keyword before class name. So class name is shape. So I'm giving class shape before class shape abstract keyword. That means this class shape is an abstract class. So for any abstract class, when you are defining a class, any class as abstract, that classes will have the abstract methods. What is abstract method? Draw is a method because draw open bracket close bracket. So this is a method name. Before the method name, void means it won't return any value. And before for this draw method, I am giving abstract keyword. That means we are hiding the definition. We are not implementing the method. When you implementing the method, how we will write void draw open curly brace close curly brace. Like this, you should give. If it is a not a abstract method, we can give some definition, system dot out dot println whatever. Okay, but this draw method is abstract method. That means we can declare the method. We are not defining the method with the curly braces. So defining the method means we need to give the curly braces. We need to write some logic. So declaration of the method means we need to end the method with semicolon. So draw method is abstract method which is not having the definition. We are simply declaring the method. So for any abstract class, we will have the abstract methods. So this is an interview question here. They will ask you whether you have the abstract methods in abstract class. Yes, because if a class is abstract class, the methods will be abstract methods. you won't have, they will ask you what is the definition of abstract method. So that you need to tell we should not have any definition for the method. We will have only declaration for the method inside the abstract class. That is a abstract method. This is a one of the interview question. Okay. So just remember each definition. Understand the definitions first before practicing. So we are writing one abstract class. In the inside the abstract class, one abstract method. So here rectangle is a class name. So class name extends shape. Shape is nothing but shape is a abstract class name. So the child class extends means we are inheriting, right? So whenever you are inheriting, shape is a parent class. So abstract class shape is a parent class. So class rectangle is a child class. So class rectangle, the child class, extending, inheriting the parent class shape. That means inside the parent class, we have draw method, right? But which is an abstract method. It is not having definition, only declaring the abstract method inside the abstract shape class. So whenever any child class, in this example, rectangle is a child class, we are inheriting the parent class shape. That means we are using the draw method. So, but we are not declaring as abstract in the child class because already in the parent class, this is the abstract method. So all the abstract methods will be defined in the child classes. This is also interview question. They will ask you where you will define the abstract methods. You need to say in the child classes. In the parent class, abstract class is a parent class. The shape is a parent class, which is abstract, which is having draw method, which is abstract. That means there is no definition. Where you will define this draw method in the child classes. So when any child class which is inheriting this parent class, which the parent class is abstract class, that abstract method will be defined in the child classes. So this draw method, void draw method, I am defining here. Just for understanding purpose, I am giving you some spaces for readable purpose. Okay. So we are giving like this. So the child class, which is inheriting the parent class, which is abstract type, the abstract method of the parent class will be defined in the child class rectangle. That's why I'm not giving abstract here. If I am giving abstract here, I should not give this definition. Again, I should end with semicolon. But I am not, we should not, I'm not doing this. I am defining, I'm implementing the method in the child class. So the parent class abstract method will be defined in the child class. This is one of the interview question. Okay. Where you will define means in the child classes, we will define the abstract methods. Sorry. So void draw is a parent class method. So I'm defining here. That's why it is not the abstract method. I'm giving the definition. So another circle one is another child class. Rectangle is one child class. This is another child class. This class, the class circle one is a child class, which is also extending the parent class. That means here also I am defining the draw method in the another child class. So this is a second child class, right? Rectangle is the first child class in this example, in this class. So in this example, right, rectangle is the first child class, circle is a second child class. In the second child class also, we are extending the parent class. That means we are extending the abstract class. And obviously the abstract method will be defined in this child class also. So that's why I am defining here also. Okay. So circle is another child class which is extending parent class. So the parent class abstract method will be defined in this child class also. So I am defining once again in this child class. So we have two child classes, class rectangle is one child class, class circle is another child class. So class shape is a parent class. So one parent class, two child classes. Okay. So in this example, this is also, if you see, right, this is a kind of hierarchical inheritance. See here, hierarchical inheritance will have one parent class, two child classes. Two child classes inherit the same parent class. So this abstraction, this is also similar to the concept is we are using here hierarchical inheritance just for the definition I am explaining. But this is an abstraction concept we are explaining, we are knowing in this example. So two child classes extending the single parent class, and abstract method of the parent class will be defined in the two child classes. Okay. So then I'm giving the test class name, test abstraction. For executing the class, I am writing this. So class name is test abstraction. Here I am passing public, I'm defining public static void main method because JVM will come to main method to execute this program. So class name, this is a test class, right? So public static void main method, inside this method, I'm writing this lines of code, this code logic. So first what I am doing, shape S. That means shape is a parent class. So parent class name shape, S is a object name. Okay. When you give lines of, there is just give for the practice purpose, always space between the lines when you are practicing. Initially we'll get confusions, right? So give a single space between every line of code for the readable purpose, for easy understanding purpose. Otherwise it will look clumsy only. So here in this shape S, shape is a parent class name, S is a object name, we can give any name, S is object name, so equal to new circle 1. See here, circle 1 is a child class name, shape is a parent class name. That means you are creating object S object for the child class circle 1. As I informed in the previous sessions, object will be created using the same syntax but based on class name declared after the new parameter. So after new parameter, whatever class you are mentioning, object will be created for that class. So in this, after new parameter, while creating object, you are giving circle 1 as a class name. That means S is a object for the circle 1. So circle 1 is a child class. So we have created a object S for the circle 1 child class, and we are referring for the parent class. So this is a parent class name, right? So I am referring the child class object with the parent class. This is also one of the interview question. They will ask you to create a object using parent class reference. So you need to write the code, parent class name, object name equal to new child class name. So here in this scenario, right, object is provided through method, get shape method. So what is a get shape method here? Okay, circle 1 is having the draw method, right? So whenever you are calling this method, okay, but in this example you are just creating object. So in this example also you are just creating object, we are not calling the method set. Okay, here we are calling method in these two lines. So here I am creating object S for the circle 1 child class, where we are creating object S1 for the child class rectangle. So we have a first child class rectangle, right, in this example. So I'm creating S1 as object for the rectangle child class, which is referring to a parent class. So we have created two objects for the two child classes. Rectangle one S1 is object, S is object for the circle one child class. So after creating child classes, the object reference S object name dot draw method. That means when you are calling object using the object, when you are calling a method, so it will go to which method? We have a draw method in the parent class. We have a draw method in the child classes. So what method it will invoke here? S dot draw method means S is a object of the circle one. So circle one means this class. So S dot draw means because S is a child class circle one object. That's why whenever you are calling S dot draw method means this circle one class draw method will invoke. So circle one is having one draw method, right? So you created a S as an object for the circle one and you are calling the draw method. That means this draw method of circle one will invoke. So this method will invoke in this line of code. So we are again calling using the object S1 dot draw method. So S1 means it is the object of the rectangle of child class. So rectangle child class also having one of another draw method, the same draw method. So when you invoke this draw method using the object S1, which is a rectangle child class object, S1 dot draw means draw method of rectangle class will invoke. So this is how abstraction concept. Abstract, if any class is abstract class, the method will be abstract. There is no definition for the abstract methods. In the child classes, we will give the definitions. So we are hiding the definitions in the abstract classes. We are defining in the subclasses, child classes. So this is the example of abstraction. Last example, encapsulation. Encapsulation means, as we all know, like we are combining the properties, variables, and methods. See, consider one example. Class encapsulate is one example for the one example for the encapsulation mechanism. So, class name is encapsulate, and here I am defining three private variables. Always remember, encapsulation means we need to define the private variables because we are restricting the access of the variables within the same class, because encapsulation means the protecting the data from the outside classes. So here three private variables. Private Greek name. So Greek name one private variable. Geek role is another private variable. Geek age is another private variable. That means geek name is a string type of variable. Geek role is integer. Geek age is integer. So we defined one private string variable, two private integer variables inside the encapsulate class. So inside a class, in the encapsulation, first define the declare the private variables, okay, and then define the setter getter methods. As we have seen during the class of encapsulation, I have discussed on this. I have informed that in the encapsulation, we will define the setter methods and getter methods to access the properties and to call the methods. So here we will define the getter methods and setter methods to utilize this to access this private variables in the encapsulation concept. So get age is a one method which is an integer type. So if any method is other than void, it should return some value. So it is returning some value. Okay. So this get method is integer method. That's why any method is other than void means it should return the corresponding value. So return geek age. Geek age is a, what is geek age? Geek age is a integer. So this get age method is returning a integer value. Geek age is a integer. So this get age method we are defining, it will return a integer value. The same way string method. String method means string get name. So get name method is string variable we define, right? So here get name is a method which is a string type. So get name is not the, it is not a void, right? It is a string data type. That's why get name method also returning one string value. Okay, because get name is geek name is a string value. That's why it will return string value. Okay, because get name method is a string data type, right? Obviously it should return the string value. So it is returning the geek name value. So get role method. So get role method means this is another method. For get age is one method, get name is one method, get age is integer type of method, get name is string data of method, string data type of method, get role is another integer method. So here also it is not a void, right? Integer. The method data type is integer. So it should return some value. So it is returning geek role. Okay. The same way, these three are getter methods. Same way, these three are setter methods. So in the encapsulation, important thing is first we need to declare the private variables, and we need to define the getter methods and setter methods to access the private variables. So in the getter methods, we return the value. In the setter methods, what we are doing? We are setting the value. So public void set age. So this method, sorry. So here set age is one method, the setter method, which is a data type is a void. That means if any method type is void, it won't return any value. Just will have the only code line of code. The logic only will define. It won't return any value. Only method is a other than void means it will return some value. But here set age method data type is void. So it won't return any value. We'll write some logic. So here what we are doing, what is the purpose of set method? Set age method means the public is access modifier, void is data type, default data type. It won't return any value, this method. So set age is a method name, and we are setting inside this, we are passing a parameter new age, okay, which is an integer type. So set age method, we are passing one integer parameter. If you see here, geek name, geek age is what? It is a private int, okay. So we are giving geek age, we are initializing with new age parameter, okay. You can, if you see set method for age to access, so we are setting the method to access the age. That means for any setter method, we are passing a parameter, then we are initializing, we are accessing the, if you see here, this is the geek age. We have defined the private variable, private integer variable geek age. So we are setting the value with the parameter. Okay. This normally what we will do, right? This is a private, normally we will do this dot geek age, okay, equal to this one. That means the class variable, right? Geek age is a class variable. Obviously, this is a current object. So here, no need to create object. Okay. Directly I'm giving geek age is a private variable, right? The class name is encapsulate, which is having three variables. One of the variable geek age. So I'm assigning the value in the set method. The set method. set age method, I am assigning a geek age value with the parameter passing in the set age. That is the purpose of set age. So for the private variable which we are declaring inside the class, we are initializing with the parameter value using set age method. The same way, set name method. Set name method means that we are having the private variable geek name. So we are initializing geek name value with the parameter passing for the set name. So geek name equal to new name. The same way, set role method. Set role method means another set method. We are having the private variable geek role integer. So in this set role method, what we are doing, we are initializing the value with the parameter passing inside the set role. So geek role equal to new role. New role is an integer, right? That's why I am initializing this value, because geek role is an integer value. Okay, that's why I am initializing the new role, which is an integer, the parameter. So this is the purpose of set methods. So first we are setting the values for the private variables, and we are getting the values using the getter methods. So this is the purpose of setter getter methods inside the encapsulation program. So in this encapsulation example, we are defining the private variables and we are getting the private variable values, and we are setting the value. First we need to set the values, initialize the values, and then we need to get the values using getter methods. After defining the setter methods and getter methods in this example, we are executing the program, right? For the execution, I am writing this public class name. Class name is test encapsulation. Always make sure wherever the public static void main is there, the class name should match with this class. That means same class only, right? When you are creating a class under the package, the same class name you need to give inside the class which with the main method, because JVM will come to the main method, right? So if JVM need to come to main method means the class name should match with the package, the class defined under this package. So this is the same class. Whatever class name you are giving here, just make sure inside the program we are giving the same class name. Otherwise, it won't execute. So JVM don't know which class to execute. So always make sure this class should be same inside the class only while writing the code. So main method, JVM will come to main method, public static void main method. Here this is the logic we are writing inside the main method. What we are writing, the class name, what is the class name? Encapsulate. Okay, encapsulate is a class name. Object is a reference object name, new encapsulate. So for this class, encapsulate, okay, for this class, we are creating a object inside the main method. So encapsulate is class name, object name, new class name. So object, after creating an object for the encapsulate class, object reference dot set name. So encapsulate class is having private variables and public getter and setter methods, correct? That's why we are calling object reference dot set name, object reference dot set age, set role. So when you are calling this method, example, object dot set name, this method will invoke. So that means inside the main method, after creating object, you are calling the method using object dot set name. Set name is a method name inside the encapsulation class. So this method will call in this line. So what you are doing, what value you are passing? Hash. HARSH is a within the double quotations means this is a string value. So why you are passing string value while calling from the main method using the object? Because this set name method is having the argument or parameter new name, which is a string type. So obviously, when you are calling this method, we need to pass the value string value. New name is a string value. That's why I'm passing hush as a value in this method when I'm calling. Okay. So when I'm doing this, when I'm writing this line of code, object.setName, the JVM will go to here, and then it will execute this lines of code, this method. So I am passing hush here. Obviously, hush means new name. That means the geek name is initialized with the hush. Okay. So the geek name, this is the geek name, right? This one I am passing the value as hush because string, right? Geek name is a string. So I'm passing the string value. The same way, second line of code, object.setAge. Object.setAge means this method will call. JVM will come to this method and it will execute. What it will do? SetAge method is having new age integer. So we need to pass integer value. So if you see here in this line, when I am calling, I am passing 19. 19 is a integer. Okay.
Venkat, can we end the class? It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's done. Only 1 minute, Venkat. I'm closing it. Okay. I'm almost done. 2 lines of code only. I'll close this. We'll close this in a 1 minute. So after this, I'm calling with setAge method with 19. That means integer. So setAge means the value we should pass integer value. Age of the age age value we need to pass as an integer value. That means 19 is integer. So I'm passing 19 for the setAge method. So the geek age is a initialized with the new age, right? The new age is 19 here. I'm passing 19 for new age. So new age 19 is initialized for the geek age. That means geek age value is 19 now. Okay. And another line is object.setRoll. That means I'm calling the setRoll method, and 51 is a integer. So in setRoll method, new role is integer. I'm initializing for the geek role. So when I'm calling this method, I'm passing 51 because the parameter is integer. So I need to pass integer. So it will call this method and geek role will initialize with 51. Okay. So this is the calling the setter methods and initializing the values. Geek name hush, geek age 19, geek role 51. So these values will be initialized for the private variables using the setter methods. And getter methods means system.out.println. I'm printing this and concatenating. Combining means plus symbol means concatenation, which is a combining of two values. So one string value I'm combining with one get name method value. So object dot get name. So object is a class object. I'm calling get name method. Where is get name method? This method will call. What it will what it will do? The JVM will come to this method. It will execute and it will return the geek name. What is the value of geek name? The value of geek name is hush. So it will print, we are asking system to print hush value because object.getName will return hush value. So the same way object.getAge will display 19 because we already initialized using setter methods the age as 19. So object.getAge means it will go to this method JVM. It will return the geek age method value and we are printing the geek age. That means 19 value we are displaying. 19 age value we are displaying here. And then roll number. Object.getRoll means this method. JVM will come to here and it will return the new age, which is nothing but 51. So I'm printing the 51 here. So when you execute this program, right click it, run as Java application, then it will print hash 1951, three values. So we are asking to print three values, right? The geek name value, geek age value, geek role value. So we are printing all these three values using setter getter methods in the encapsulation example. So this is the best example for the encapsulation. Sorry for the, I took 2 hours today because I want to complete this all the concepts programming examples so that you can practice in the weekend. So please practice in the weekend and come up with some examples on Tuesday session. First 10 minutes, I will check whether everyone is practicing or not, because it is mandatory to practice. Then only you will remember the concept. Okay, please practice daily 1 hour. Thank you all. Thanks, Venkat. We are closing now. Happy weekend to all.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Venkat. Bye.